Less confused after the president's speech tonight, but said she's not given any specifics at the moment. I mean, Megyn tried. It didn't happen. How will Republicans get in the game? California Congressman Kevin McCarthy is the chief deputy whip. He's my guest now from Capitol Hill. Sir, good morning to you. Hey, make some news for us now. What is your strategy for getting in this game?
Well, we've been in the game for quite some time, laying out ideas for tort reform, for pre-existing conditions, portability, small businesses able to pool, ability to sell insurance across state lines, a way to fix the current system without taking it all apart and having government take over. If you watched August, you look at the number of town halls. More people are engaged in politics than ever before. Not just Republicans are in the game, but Americans themselves are now paying attention.
You just ticked off 3 or 4 things. There was some agreement on some of those, isn't there?
Yes, and what I'd like to see from the president tonight is say he's going to scrap the old idea that a few people in the back room sat and wrote, but actually get to a table and bring everybody in and start working together in a bipartisan manner. You know, the Republicans sent this president a letter at the very beginning of this saying we wanted to work with him. He sent a letter that said thanks but no thanks.
The letter said thanks but no thanks?
In essence,
literally?
It just said thanks for being concerned, but no thanks. Never had a meeting down for a meeting. We laid out ideas. We've given presentations to ideas. We've sat down with many of people going forward. We're sitting here ready to work. We're positioning ideas. Democrats control Congress. They've only moved one bill. We have a number of bills that are sitting out there ready to be debated, ready to have hearings.
Let me try and cut through this and just kind of speak on behalf of, I don't know, 300 million Americans out there. Of which 299 million are watching the show. We wish. Why is it so urgent to get it now? Can you just give us a quick little primer as to why now is so urgent?
Well, I wouldn't be so certain that I have to have a deadline for a date that it has to be here. I'd be more important about what's inside the bill itself. You know, the dirty little secret of the president's bill, it doesn't go into effect to 2013, but the taxes go into effect January 1st, 2010. Healthcare continues to rise. We have pre-existing conditions that we have to take care of that people are being denied. But we can deal with that. We can actually solve that problem this month, sitting down together with common sense solutions, dealing with pre-existing conditions, dealing with the ability of portability.
But I think there's agreement on both of those items, right? I mean, the third one you just got into, malpractice reform, may be in a different category, but there is agreement on the first two, is there not, among most members of Congress?
Most members of Congress do. Now, if the powers be let us sit down, write the bill, and move it, we can get it done.
Okay, so we're moving the ball down the field here. We've got agreement on 2 things. Medical malpractice, what can the president say tonight that would make it 3 for 3?
Well, the first thing he has to say is we could put it back on the table. Before he said you couldn't even have it on the table. Price Waterhouse has audited the rising cost of health care. The #1 factor happens to deal with medical malpractice. It's not as much money that we spend in the jury and not in the operation room, but the conditions where doctors have to practice defensive medicine, where they're overutilizing. That is a driving cost. If we were able to deal with that, we have states that have history of showing it, California and Texas. We can take the best model, have the examples from that, and do it nationwide to make sure we can control and save doctors from doing defensive medicine practice and raising costs.
Linda Douglas says Americans will be far less confused after they hear from the president tonight, and we shall all see. The speech is still being written under the president's here in New York for a ceremony for Walter Cronkite. Back to White House about early afternoon, I'd imagine, and we'll see it in prime time tonight. Thank you, sir. Kevin McCarthy on what might be conciliatory ground. We shall see.